What's up, gang? Thanks for tuning in. So you've been following my channel for a while. You know I have a 2017 Ford F-150. I put an 8-inch lift kit on this truck. I've got 37-inch by 1450 tires on it, 26 by 14-inch wheels. And anyway, that's a lot of extra weight to be carrying around to try to stop at a decent pace. So I've had 100 people tell me, TJ, you've got to upgrade the brakes on that truck. So I went on AmericanTrucks.com. I picked up a set of PowerStop brakes. Look at this setup. And guys, we're going to go through it all. I'm going to tell you everything I can tell you about this. We're going to do an open box. We're going to take the wheels off my truck, put it up in the air, install it on this 2017 Ford F-150. Let's get started now. All right, let's get started with the open box. So on the cover, it tells you about the break-in process. That's nice. They sent some extra grease. All right. Here's the brackets, which I believe that hold the it's going to hold the brake pads in. More grease. Open up. Look at that. Nice, heavy. And I love the look of these guys. Alright, lift these boxes with caution, man. This is heavy duty stuff, so be careful with it. But I did take my brake calipers, I want you guys to know, to powder coat. To a guy I know here locally, powder coat. These will come red to you. My truck's pretty much all murdered out with the exception of a little bit of chrome on it. So I wanted to go ahead and go with the gloss black look on it. I tell you what though, if you like the red look, PowerStop did a great job with the powder coat as well, and the red looks really good as well. I just went to black because my whole truck's black. Alright, now there's more brackets, and look at this heavy duty. This is a game changer, guys. Way bigger than the factory. Way cleaner. Here's another one, I believe the front. Just want to go slowly, let you look through it. Look at the fronts on the left. Here's the pads again. Those look super clean. These are the heavy boxes that you'll get when it comes in. These are slotted and drilled. So from what I understand is the drilled is what helps cool it down. The slotted helps keep them clean so you get a good stop. I like how, if you notice there's a label there, each one is labeled so you don't get it mixed up where it goes. There are directional, so you have to put them in the right spot, whether it's front or back. Plenty of grease packets there. There you see all the different pads. These rotors are awesome. Can't wait to get some comparisons on these versus the factory ones. All right, before I take these off, I want to show you what the old brakes look like. I bought brake covers once before. Couldn't even get to stay on the back ones. Those things are a big waste of money. I tried to paint them, as you can see, it faded. Let's go to the front. I'll show you the front. There's the covers I did buy for them. Don't waste your money on these guys. Just buy you some nice brakes. All right, guys. First step is to get this bad boy up in there. So I'm going to do that now. Get these wheels off. We'll get started. All right, guys. If you have electric parking brake, don't forget to put it in maintenance mode. All right, got the first wheel off. Just want you to see the before, what these things look like. All right, mine's gonna look a little bit different than yours because I have these LED lights to go around it. First thing I'm gonna do is cut some of that. I've got the wire zip tied to the brake line, so I'm gonna break some of that loose so I have a little bit of room to work with. All right, your first step really is to pinch the brake lines. I used a towel with a set of vice grips here. All right, I recommend you get some type of a drain pan or something underneath it. And now we're gonna loosen the bleeder bolt, as this will drop whatever remaining brake fluid that's in that line that's not pinched pretty much and what's in the caliper. All right, now that we have that loose, it's time to take off the brake hardware. Okay, once you get to a certain point, it spun on me, so I had to get another wrench to kind of pinch the inside down as I loosen the rest away. All right, now there's no one on the bottom. I got to get loose. Take a little bit of force, isn't it? There you go. After we get this bolt broke free, we should be able to just slide up on that brake caliper. I may have to finagle mine around that light again. All right, sorry I had to take that off camera. It took me a little bit of work to get that finagled around. Once the caliper's lifted up, remove the brake pads from each side. They'll just wiggle out pretty much. There you go. Then once you get that out, it should be a matter of just pulling out the rotor. Nothing's really holding this thing on, so be careful. I've got to show you the difference. Look at that old pad. Those old pads I didn't get very long ago, guys. And then look at that. So excited to get these ugly ones off. What I may do is just flip around and show you the install of the front ones next. All right, this is the front passenger side. Same process. You're going to pinch the bleeder line. I'm going to loosen the bleeder bolt. Again, I got a drip pan underneath because this will leak. This one's fighting me a little bit. There you go. Now I got to get the caliper loose from the caliper bracket. Same process as the rear for the most part. Again, there's one on the bottom. If you ever plan to add LED lights to your truck, do it after you change out the brakes. These things have been nothing but my way. Anyway, this brake calipers, again, just, or brake pads I should say, just pull those out. And then now we're going to get the brake caliper holder mount off. Same process, you got one on top, one on bottom. Front brakes get a little tricky just because of all the heat movement the front does. Both can get tied down and locked down easier and stuff like that. So here's an example. Use my mallet. If you're thinking of adding wheel lights to your truck, I recommend doing it after you do your brakes. These have been nothing but my way. Did I mention these lights are in my way again? Look at the difference in quality. All right, remember the front end gets hot, so sometimes you got to fight these. All right, finally got it off. It was off of camera. I ended up using basically a screwdriver in the back and knocked it through with a hammer. Now the rest is easy. It just slides right on. Be careful. I recommend putting like a lug nut on that just to hold it in place. Did I mention, if you're going to use lights, add them after brakes? Again, this thing's in my way. This process for you is just a matter of sliding it over. This is way harder than it should be. All because of the lights. Now it's just a matter of reversing the process. I'm going to tighten down the bracket on top first. Then I'll move to the bottom. There is a torque spec for this. All right, before you get the brake pads in, you got to put the mounting bracket, these little metal clips. I recommend doing this before you put it on your truck. I learned my mistake right here. And once you get those in, it's just a matter of slide them in. Start with one side and then move the other in. All right, once you get your pads on, it's a matter of squeezing this bad boy around them and tighten it down. Here you see I'm starting with the top, and I'll go to the bottom next. Back on. You do have to add that copper washer they provide, you can see, and then be sure you get it lined up with the groove where that little metal bracket goes in with the bleeder, and then tighten it down. But we'll have to go through a bleeding process where we'll loosen this back up at some point just to get the air out of the system. Look at the difference, guys. Here's a bit of a closer look.
All right, guys, so Indiana strikes again. It's about to start raining on me. So first off, now you need to bleed the brake lines. You'll need a partner for this. So basically what you want to do is you'll get somebody in your truck and push on the brakes. You'll loosen up the bleeder screw, and if, you know, as bubbles come out, you'll close it in, have them release, go back in. And basically you're working the air bubbles out, and you know when you're done is when it's solid fluid that comes out when you loosen the bleeder hose up and they break on it. Anyway, I'm going to try to work on that. It's probably going to storm on me, so. Of course, as I try to finish up, it just starts pouring down on me.
So I had to finish the bleed process and put the tires on really quickly.
Just don't forget to do the break-in process on these brakes. I gotta show you one more time how these things turned out. I couldn't be happier. Looks way cleaner. And big thank you to American Trucks. All right, guys. So it's the next day, but I tell you what, you know, the rain got the best of me yesterday. I did eventually, once it stopped, I ended up doing a break-in process on this. Basically, you go 40 mile an hour down to 5 mile an hour 5 times. And then after you do that, you do 35 mile an hour down to 5 mile an hour 5 times, and then you let the brakes kind of cool off by just driving around slowly for about 5 minutes. So I completed the break-in process yesterday. Guys, I can't tell you how happy I am. This thing, it just stops like a dime. I mean, it really does. And honestly, look, they look way better too, way better. And anyway, I need to get the truck cleaned off, got water spots all over it, but I just had to share that. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Appreciate you taking the time to watch it. I'll drop the link down below for everything, including any tools I used. American Trucks was spot on, shipped it super fast, gave me everything I needed as described, and the PowerStop brakes were just awesome. So very happy with this, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate, drop a comment down below. I am out on social media as well, at F-150_boss, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Hit me up. Would love to see your build or any pictures you're doing. But guys, want to say thanks again for watching, and want you all to have a great day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.